How we doing, Patriot fans? Welcome to this week's episode of the PrimeTime Patriots podcast. A little bit of a different setup here. Got shut out of our usual room, but is what it is. The show must go on. Jake Mott here with Ryan Matson, breaking down a great win for the Patriots. Dominant win for the Patriots over the Panthers, 24-6. Let you go first.
Bottom line is, I think the defense just performed big time. One of the best performances of the year defensively. JC was incredible. He had 88-yard pick six, and then he had another pick in the end zone to save points being on the board for the Panthers. He locked up everyone. They were playing a weird defense too. They were playing like a zone man. And he said it in the post-game press conference he was in. He was like, we're a man team, but like coach had us, playing like a little zone and like a little man. But overall, I thought they played very good, at least in the secondary.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I wanted to go defense first again this week. We did it last week. Usually we go offense first, but such a dominant performance. It was more ghosts for Sam Darnold. They held him under 50% passing, under 175 yards, no touchdowns, and the 3 picks. So they really had his number all day. They took care of Christian McCaffrey. He only had 106 all-purpose yards, which is nothing really for him.
Yeah.
And no touchdowns as well. DJ Moore, who I think is really special.
Yeah.
I think he's a really great receiver. We talked about him a lot last week, especially after the catch. They did a good job. They held him only 3 catches, 32 yards, rallied to him as soon as he got the ball, brought him down. Yeah, and there were no touchdowns, period, in this game. Just 2 field goals. Held him to 4 punts. Which 4 punts is impressive when you get 3 picks on top of it.
Yeah.
That means you stifled 7 drives that way. So, they really did a great job. I highlighted JC too. He's really solidifying, the talk is that he wants cornerback 1 money.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to deny it to him when he keeps putting up games like this. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just want to bring up Jamie Collins. That pick was insane.
Oh, that was nasty. I can't remember the last time seeing one like that. That was crazy.
I counted at least 10 knockdown passes from the D-line. That's insane. I don't know if Sam Darnold was just throwing them straight or they were just getting up there, but it was insane.
Yeah, we clearly have his number. That's why I put at the top too. It's a big win. The Panthers are slipping, like we said, but they're beating these teams by sizable margins. These are teams they're supposed to beat, and it's not for example, earlier in the year, you went down to the wire with the Texans, who had no business being on the field with you. Now you're actually stepping up to these teams, and the teams that you're supposed to beat, you're not only beating them, you're beating them handily. I just hate the whole narrative where people are still somehow spinning this into a negative. They go, oh, well, they've always done well against Sam Darnold. Oh, the Panthers are going bad. It's well, it's a win on Sunday. And a win is a win in the NFL. This is a team, they're on their skid, but this was a team that people thought was a pretty good football team. Yeah. Defensively, for sure. Yeah. And they did a good job against that team.
Yeah, I still think they are a very good defensively team. If you look at the points we scored, I think we put up 18 offensively.
Yep. Yeah, because
of the pick six. So I think, the Panthers definitely, the defense keeps them winning games, but their offense has been looking like shit.
Exactly, and especially you couple that with Belichick versus Darnold. I mean, that's just how it's going to go. Offensively, I thought it was a little bit of a mixed bag. The running game actually looked pretty damn well. 151 yards on the season. Believe that is a season high as well. And the big name was Ramondre Stevenson. Yep. He had a breakout game.
Absolutely.
Had the long screen catch, which boosted up his receiving numbers, and then also had 10 rushes for 62 yards. And, that's encouraging to see. We talk pretty much every week about the Sony Michel trade and how it's affected this team at the running back position. They just haven't seemed to have that depth. And, Brandon Bolden's been getting a lot of carries, things like that. To see Stevenson step up, even though he did leave the game early, him and Harris both, but it's encouraging to see that from a guy who was shaky to start the season for sure.
Yeah. I thought Bolden played pretty well too. Along with Stevenson. He had 8 carries, 54 yards, and then 2 catches for 27. Harris looked good, I thought, too, until he got hurt. I mean, he was averaging, I think, only like 2.4.
Yeah, I think it was 2 flat, if I remember.
Yeah, it was something like that. 2, yep.
Yep, yeah.
So
it didn't look like that, though.
yeah,
it really
and then he
didn't.
got that touchdown, too, so.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought the run game was very good.
Absolutely. So the O-line continues to carve lanes and protect Mac decently.
I will say Isaiah Wynn in that first quarter was horrific.
Yeah.
He nearly got Matt killed.
Brian Burns was it? And, okay, Burns. Yeah. That's right. That was the... Yeah, have you heard about this dirty play?
Yeah, that he twisted his ankle.
From Mac, yeah. I mean, I think it... I'm not going to be biased. I think it kind of is.
Yeah.
I don't think it's... I don't think it's the dirtiest thing we've seen. It's not like what's his name levels. Who's the linebacker for Cincy? Used to be.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Whatever, it's not like a perfect scenario or anything like that, but it is just a little. We know he gets into his own head when he makes bad plays like that. So I think we saw it boil over a little bit.
Yeah.
Was it excessively dirty? Something he should be fined for and stuff? No, I don't think so. But I think there was a little ill intent. I don't totally buy the he had the ball argument that Mac's using, but either way. Yeah. You like to see, in some way, you like to see the guy react and have some emotion. But
yeah. We'll go to Mac here. Let's see. He 12 for 18, so they didn't throw the ball very much.
Yeah, he wasn't asked to do much.
They need to. 139 and a touchdown, and then the one I hate is the pick to Steph.
That was the worst one. I think all year. He threw it. He said right in the post-game interview, too, he goes, I threw it right to him.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's a great player, but, when you put the ball right there, I mean, he was the receiver on the play at that point. So, yeah, I agree. I thought that was his worst pick. But the 2 delay games was the biggest thing for me. I don't know if you noticed. But there was one, and then it happened again in the second half, and it's like...
Yeah, okay.
Those are things, maybe he's trying to dial something up. A lot of times they'll say that quarterbacks aren't getting a delay game because they're not paying attention. They're just trying to fit so many different reads and hot routes and things like that in. So that's going to come, but you still, week whatever it is now, you don't want to see 2 delay game penalties from your quarterback. So a little concerning. But
in the first quarter, I didn't think we looked very good offensively, especially on the line. A lot of penalties, a lot of sacks and hits given up, pressures. But I thought overall offensively, I think we played what we did what we needed to do.
Yes, exactly. It was a front runner game right after halftime, and it was clear that it was going to be about time of possession and running the rock and managing the game. So I think Mac did a good job of those things. He didn't have a stellar performance himself, but he did what needed to be done in that situation to win the game.
Yep.
He's not a guy who's going to be like, I only got 172 or something. I need to start passing more. Like, if the game's being won, he's going to just take it play at a time. So it's nice to see him have that maturity. A lot of young guys will be like, I've had a bad game. Now I got to force it. I got to start making some plays, show people I got it. He just said, hey, we're in the driver's seat. I haven't had a great game so far, but it's about winning the game. He buckled down and got it done. So now I have a little bit of an opinion piece here. I want to know if you agree. I think Jonnu Smith is easily the worst free agent signing that we've had. And he's not awful, but it's been extremely disappointing. And I don't know how you could say it's not at least very disappointing. Yeah. I mean, this guy was supposed to be the centerpiece of the offense, according to some people.
I'm trying to think I know who we signed, but I'm trying to think of who I'd say.
Maybe Henry Anderson or somebody else, but I'm saying the big names, the Judons.
I mean, he definitely is disappointed. I still kind of chalk it up to the play calling a little bit.
Still early.
Yeah, because I still think you got to get him the ball. But early on, he's made some key drops, and then... now we're just kind of seeing him just slowly fade out of the plays. Yeah, he's not getting any calls.
And there's a lot of talk. The big thing with him is obviously the yards after catch, and I haven't seen anything I would consider elite in that category. It almost seems like they're we know Jonnu is good after the catch, air quotes if you're listening, but So they're trying to just get it into his hands and assuming that yards after catch is going to come when really he's looked like just about any other tight end you'd give the football. So
yeah, there was a play, I think it was like in the first half. It was like 3rd and 18. They did a screen to him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're looking for there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and like he kind of had a hold the break, but he got caught up on a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think Shaq Thompson, he was insane. He is a great player.
Mm-hmm.
But Johnny, I don't know. I think it's definitely disappointing to see him, not get the targets or the play that
Mm-hmm.
we expected, especially coming from the Titans having a great year last year. But I still chalk it up to some of the play calling.
Yeah, I'm not saying by any means that like he's a failed signing or that he's not going to work out here long term. But right now, compared to all the other guys, I think he's very clearly the one you can point at and be like, this guy's not giving us what we thought he was going to give us.
I would say Aguilar, but like we've talked about,
Yeah.
him over top, him, bringing the safeties in the corners with him deep helps out.
Yeah, I put Aguilar too, because Aguilar in this game specifically had no catches even.
Yeah.
So like, I understand that argument for sure, but I still feel like he's, like you said a little bit, more
involved.
Yeah, and more of what he was advertised as. You knew he's going to give you a big play here and there. He's going to drop some balls, and he's going to spread the defense out.
Yeah.
And he has done those things. So, like, Johnny was a guy where, like, they're going to put him in the backfield.
Yeah,
then they're going to flex him out.
I thought Johnny was going to be better than Hunter. Hunter's been producing pretty well. So.
Exactly. Another touchdown this week from Hunter Henry.
Yep.
Starts up another streak, hopefully, for him. Yeah. So, at the end of the day, I put a win as a win. And this defense, man, stellar performance. 2 field goals. Again, you can say the Patriots have the number, but DJ Moore, McCaffrey, they shut these guys down. They did a really good job. Robbie Anderson was non-existent.
Dude, he hasn't been anywhere this year.
Yeah, that's true. To be fair, you're right.
I don't know what it is, dude, but they got talent. It's just they can't put it together.
Yeah. So, hey, win's a win.
Yeah.
I think that wraps it up.
Absolutely.
I think we can hop forward to next week. All right, everybody. So before we head into this pregame or preview of the next game against the Cleveland Browns, do got some NFL news. I'm going to let Ryan lead the way.
Yep. So, Rams released Sean Jackson about a week ago now. He has signed with the Raiders. Not very surprising, especially
logical
after what happened last week. And then we got another Raiders news here. The Damon Arnett, a video came out of him with a gun threatening to kill someone. He was a first-round pick in 2020 out of Ohio State.
Same as Ruggs.
Yeah, and he was also released by the Raiders.
Yeah.
So they're having a tough year in terms of...
It's very tough.
Yeah, it sucks to see because...
It does. They were promising early on.
They look good.
I mean, now they got no coach, no receivers. I mean,
it's tough.
It's getting ugly.
Yeah. And then just some key injury news. David Montgomery's now off IR for the Bears, so that's good for them. And then Russell Wilson's coming off IR as well.
Yes, I'm a very big Russell Wilson fan. He's one of the few... I believe he was the first non-Pats jersey that I ever bought in my life. I love Russell Wilson. And I'm so mad that I'm not going to be able to say that he hasn't missed a game again. But It is what it is. I mean, in classic Russ fashion, it's not like anybody lit him up or anything. He just hit his hand in the wrong spot, and that's what does it. But excited to watch them get going. Seahawks are my NFC team. If I root for any team besides the Pats, it's usually the Seahawks. So.
All right.
And now...
That's all I got for that.
All right, but... The big news, because it kind of concerns us, I guess.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham, obviously, released outright by the Browns. Nobody claimed him off waivers. I believe it was like $7.2 million.
Yep, so now he can sign wherever he wants.
Yeah, and honest to God, if nobody picks up your contract at 7.2, you're no longer an elite receiver, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You really, I don't know how you could say any other elite receiver that could be added to a team, there'd at least be claims. There'd be something. So to say nobody was comfortable paying him $7.2 million, I think it officially is now time for him to prove that he is an elite receiver again.
Yeah.
Because it's gone.
I think the best thing for him to do, now that he can go pretty much wherever he wants, as long as obviously the team wants to sign him, find a quarterback who can get you the ball. I mean, I don't blame Baker. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I don't think any of that. But go to a place where it's a quarterback who can get you the ball down the field, short routes, anything, and then just let him produce. Obviously, he kind of wants to be that number one guy, but in a lot of situations, there's not a lot of space for that. Other than the Pats, I think.
Yeah.
But
I'd say Saints too.
Yeah.
But I mean, their quarterback
Trevor
room is
Siemian,
is a mess.
Oh, come on now.
So, and I agree. I think not like way too much, but I think slightly too much blame has gone on like Baker and the Browns here. It's like the Browns are a running football team and Baker doesn't have great accuracy. Like these are things that are established. So like to act like Odell's not getting the ball when he should and Baker's missing him, it's like, well, he was never supposed to get it a bunch. This is the same guy too. I just heard this over the weekend or over the week, whenever. Stefanski was the O coordinator or the head coach, whichever, for Minnesota in Stephon Diggs' last year.
Okay.
And we remember people saying Stephon Diggs, he's getting so mad.
Maryland?
Huh?
Maryland? That's where Steph went.
Stephon Diggs.
College.
No. I'm saying in Minnesota.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, on the Vikings.
I got you.
Yeah, and there was a
was
lot
picking
of
up
crap that season about Stephon's not getting the ball as much as he should. He was making it pretty vocal that he wasn't a figure.
Yeah.
So I think there's some similarities there to where Stephon Diggs went to Baltimore and proved right away that he is a number one legit receiver. Yeah, what did I say? Sorry.
You're good.
But yeah, so that's interesting as well. I just still feel like he's not anywhere near what he was. It's not. I don't think he has.
Good pickup. I didn't even think about.
Yeah. That was when I heard that I was like,
That's interesting.
That's a big scheme thing. To be fair, I think
it has to be.
Oh, it's huge, but I think a big part of it, opening your eyes. But I don't think you can't all be that because a lot of these Odell problems stemmed from, in my opinion, when he got that first serious injury, which was like it was his leg went the wrong way, big time,
it was a fibula,
something. Yes, and since then, man, the explosiveness, the yards after catch that he was known for,
shot away,
it's all kind of gone down, and that was even in his last years with the Giants. And now it looks like definitively the Giants have won that trade. It's easy to say that now, but that's how you evaluate trades.
Jabril Peppers and a couple picks.
Yeah, exactly. And Jabril Peppers, love Jabril Peppers. I'm a Michigan guy, so. But he is a great safety.
The overtime speech.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, that's awesome. That was awesome.
Funny.
Yeah, we want that ball. Yeah, exactly. That's great stuff. So now shift it back to the Pats a little bit. Would you want him here? And if you do, I assume you probably would, right? I would take him. You're going to get him for a bag of chips, so I don't know why.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah.
Yeah, you'd take him. What's a positive of having him here, and what would be a negative that you'd think?
I think the positive is he could, he'd come into a role where he probably will be the number one guy as long as things click.
Mm-hmm.
I still like Bourne. I still like Jacoby. He's kind of going to be the number one replacing. I don't think Aguilar's the number one, but he's the number one in terms of
one. Exactly. He's our X.
So, yeah, I wouldn't mind to see him come over here. But I think the negative, I think we talked about it last week. It's kind of like sends a message to your receivers like you're not doing what we want you to.
Yep.
And I don't know if it sends it to everyone or just Aguilar because it pretty much is for Aguilar.
To be fair, I've heard that it is a bit of a double-edged sword there because I've had people also say to me that would increase the competition in the room and these guys would be like, all right, it's time to step up.
Get going,
yeah, so that's a possibility too. I think for the benefit, clearly the guy can come in. It's one of the few rooms, like we said, that he could come into and definitively be like, that's the number one guy.
Much,
yeah, and everywhere else, the Packers are a big name right now. ain't no way he's even in Devontae Adams' class.
No.
Like, if he goes to the Seahawks, he'll be the third best receiver on the
Pretty
team.
much, yeah.
So, like, these
And
are
then the Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Who would he be the third option?
He'd be the third option. Yep. He'd be behind Kelsey and Hill. So, like, these are things to consider. So, I think this is legitimately the best, and I'm not just being biased, I don't think. I think this is the best situation for him in terms of both being a number one option and potentially winning substantial games. So, like, and proving that he can be coached by a guy who is a known hard ass. He can come to New England, a nowhere place, and not be a diva and not do these things. So
funny you said that. I was watching a podcast, Full Send podcast, love it. They had Chad Ochocinco on, and he was talking about how he was on the Pats and how people either love playing for the Pats or hate it. It's kind of like a military. Like, you're all as one. No one's special. Like, that's just how it rolls. So he was saying, like, obviously he was a guy who was all over the place. He did the celebrations. He's kind of like an Odell type guy.
Yeah.
So, like, after he said he actually enjoyed, coming to New England and
Which
playing.
is nice to hear because he wasn't.
He was only there for
productive.
he was only there for about a year. So I don't know. Maybe this would be good for Odell. I don't know.
Yeah. So for clarification too, we record this on Wednesday. I'm sure when we put this up by Friday, he is somewhere. So sorry if there's some stuff to skip over there, but hopefully he's in a
topic.
Yeah, interesting nonetheless. Hopefully he's in a Patriot uniform. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. And then
Not looking like it right now.
Yeah, no, it's not. The Patriots are probably the fourth or fifth team in that discussion.
I'd say fourth, but
Yeah. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. One criticism before we move on to the Browns here. One criticism that I don't really like is the idea that he's going to be like a head case or like a culture problem. I really think he did a pretty damn good job in Cleveland considering the circumstance. Like, he never really bitched that much.
it was his dad who really did.
Exactly. At the end, and like that's even then it wasn't like. So we've seen guys force their way out of situations.
Yeah.
AB, who everybody was totally fine with bringing here.
Oh my God.
Everybody was like, yeah. It's like, so if you're going to be happy about that, how could you not be happy? I understand AB adds more to your football team than Odell does, but still, in terms of a culture issue, if he does sign here, that means he's agreed to whatever's been pitched to him. He's going to be like, hey, you're not going to be a factor every single week. Mm-hmm. You might not, we're going to try to run the ball. Winning games is more important than anybody. Like, those would be established to him. So for him to, like, accept those and then show up and be like, where's my touches? Like, especially being on a 1-year prove-it deal, like, I just don't see culture being an issue whatsoever if he ends up here. Yeah. All right, so now we're going to move on to the preview against the Cleveland Browns. Browns coming to Gillette, which I think is very important.
Yeah.
They're also 5-4, and they're coming off a big beatdown of the Bengals in Cincy as well, 41-16.
42-16, yeah.
Oh, 42, yep. And honestly, I think Cincy was kind of fraudish anyways, but nonetheless, they're a good football team at the very least, and they went in there and smacked them
Oh,
up.
it was 41, my bad.
Okay, yeah. So I think they're a little overrated, but they're still a good football team, and they went in there at home and kicked the crap out of them. So
Yeah, a lot of people expected them to lose after all the shit going on this week with Odell and all that. So yeah, they came out and proved something, that they're still a top team in the league. Could be at least. Yeah, the Bengals, I think they're a little overrated as well. They're young and their defense it's definitely improved for sure.
And the Browns are in their division too, so they've seen this team. Like, they're very comfortable with them. It's not crazy. So
I'm not taking this win as like a standout.
Yeah.
Because like we've seen, divisional games can go either way. So yeah, both teams 5-4 looking for 6-4 start. So
yeah. I'm super excited, honestly, because I feel like this game more than any other one, there's no hiding, there's no bullshit. Like, it's not a young quarterback like Herbert, who is great, but it's not a young guy like that. It's not Sam Darnold, who you basically own. If the Pats win this game, like, you have to respect them as a team that can absolutely make the playoffs unless
my
something
God.
goes wrong. Like, you have to.
Yeah, especially with the Bills losing to Jacksonville.
Exactly. That was something else. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
Dude, we
watching
are
now.
now a half game behind the Bills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep, we're right there. Right. So even now, you could even hypothetically split your 2 games with the Bills and still win the division. Like, you really could.
So those games are big.
Absolutely.
And obviously, every game is big, but
And we're
divisional
watching
games, especially against the Bills, will be big.
Yeah, we're watching this. Like, every team that is like at the pillar of the AFC just keeps getting rocked. Like, since he got rocked by the Jets.
Yep. Again by the Browns.
Yep. Bills just got waxed by the Bengals. Bills got waxed by Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So like, it's like every week here, Tennessee lost Derrick Henry. Like every week, it's such a weird thinning of the herd. So to see the Patriots being as consistent as they have been is nice.
Yeah.
In a division that's otherwise kind of crapping itself.
Yeah, this is a big game too because like we talked about last week, building up to the playoffs, the wild card and all that stuff. These 2 teams are going to be fighting for a spot, especially if let's say the Bills take the number 1 spot in the division.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this is a big game.
Absolutely. So I'll start with the Browns' offense. It's really not too much to break down because they're very clear about what they want to do. They want to run the football, they want to control the time of possession, and they don't turn it over. Like that's their MO every single game. And also worth pointing out here too, the Chubb situation. He tested positive for COVID. He needs 2 negative tests 24 hours separate of each other to play. Mm-hmm. So his situation is up in the air, and Hunt is very doubtful. Yeah, very doubtful to play. I think he's eligible to return Wednesday today, I believe.
Yep, but I doubt it.
His original timetable was 4 to 6 weeks, so it would be even pushing it. Especially if you think Chubb's going to be out, you don't want Hunt to be receiving 20 carries or something like that. So both of them teetering, both of them kind of leaning towards not playing, which is huge for this game.
Yeah. Dearness Johnson is their 3rd string.
Mm-hmm.
He showed he could play for sure this year.
But he's the 3rd guy for a reason. Yeah, he's not one of those 2 guys.
Exactly. So, yeah, I think as long as we shut down the run, it should be pretty good.
That's what I said. I think this game plan, the Browns that is, I think it actually works pretty well for us. Like, Bill usually can take away the first option pretty well, and I don't think Baker is somebody who's going to beat you with his arm. So, like, I thought a great example was last year against Baltimore. You had no business beating that team, but you knew all they were going to try to do was, especially with the weather, that they were going to run with Lamar, try to pound it with Ingram, and, like, you took that away and ended up beating a team with Cam Newton at quarterback. Mm-hmm. Like, a team that you had no business beating. And I think that was because they were so one-dimensional that you were able to lock up on D. So,
yeah.
You want to hop to the Browns' defense a little bit?
Yeah. Their secondary, not the worst, not the best.
Average.
Their defensive line, though, I think is pretty stellar in the league. With
Absolutely.
Myles Garrett, I mean, that guy's an animal. Mm-hmm. Absolute a beast on the
helmet smasher.
He's a very good player. So, I think running the ball might be difficult this week. Mm-hmm. But you have to run. You gotta establish a run game so you can pass deep or at least pass the ball.
Yeah.
And then I just really want to get the tight ends involved again. Mm-hmm. I know we say it every week, but they're too big of a signing to not use. And even Hunter, like we've seen him play much better. He's still not getting a lot of targets or catches.
Yeah, I'm nervous about we just talked about Jabril Peppers. Oh wait, never mind. Sorry, he was on the Giants. I'm dumb. My fault. So never mind. He's a non-factor. I was gonna say he's a guy who could totally eliminate Jonnu Smith. Period. Definition of a hybrid, but nonetheless, I'm stupid. So yeah, their pass defense is average, like you said at best. Yeah. Their run defense, 3.5 a carry, is second in the league, I believe, to the Saints. So they really do suffocate you when you try to run the football. Overall, I think they're a 5 to 10 ranked defense overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, closer to the 10 area, for sure. Maybe like an 8 or 9 team. But still a very good, solid defense. And they play the run very, very well. So
Yeah. I just wrote down here, he's pretty inconsistent, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But if you give him time in the pocket, he can definitely deliver a big pass, or he can also scramble. Like, he's a shifty little guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
he is.
Just keep that in mind for sure. And then, this is interesting. So, Jarvis has kind of been pretty shitty this year. I know he's had some issues.
I think
injury-wise.
JC could completely eliminate him.
I don't even think JC's on him. I think Peoples-Jones is who he's going to be on.
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. So,
Michigan
Jones,
man.
he's fast. He's probably the fastest. Well, other
Tall,
than Anthony
too.
Schwartz.
He's a lot taller than Jarvis.
Yeah. But JC's a fast guy, too.
Mm-hmm.
You can keep up with him.
Oh, yeah.
And then, also, I want to pull up the stats here. I forgot what it was.
I think Mills could actually do a decent job on Jarvis. Jalen Mills. I think he
Yeah,
kind
I
of
do
matches
too.
up with the kind of receiver he is.
Yeah.
He's twitchy and he's not. It's not like A to B speed. It's more quickness. So
Yeah, I agree with that. So, yeah, he actually had a big play. Let me try and find it.
Jarvis.
No, Peoples-Jones, yeah.
Yes,
So he had two receptions, 86 yards, and a touchdown against Cincy.
Mm-hmm.
2 receptions, obviously not a big stat.
Yeah.
But the 86 yards and a touchdown, it was a straight bomb.
Yeah, exactly.
Baker just lit up the defense. I'm trying to find some more stats on him. But either way, I think he's been the hot hand throughout the last 3 or 4 weeks, especially with the problems with Odell and then the injury with Jarvis. So I think JC should be on Peoples-Jones.
Yeah, not to sidetrack, I'll be real quick with it, but like, here's a perfect example of why the blame can't be put on Odell.
Yeah. Sorry, I just saw this. He has 15 receptions, 314 yards, 3 touchdowns. He averages 20.9 per catch.
That might lead the league.
That's insane.
I couldn't imagine who's much higher, but either way.
I just saw it and I was like, holy shit.
I think that sums up the whole Odell thing to where it can't be all Baker. Why isn't Odell making these plays?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, if Odell's that guy, these are the plays he should be. So, like, anyway, not to sidetrack. But, yeah, overall, do you have any... I had 2 main keys for the Patriots this game. Number 1 was a fast start for 2 reasons. One, it forces them to pass more.
Yeah.
Which helps you out a bunch. And then it also keeps the crowd rocking the whole game,
For sure.
which is also important. And then my second one was to force 3rd and longs. They're pretty weak on 3rd down. It's one of their weaker areas, especially if you force them to pass it, if you stifle them a little bit on those runs. They love running on 1st down. So if you can shut them down and kind of force them into some 3rd and 5s, 3rd and 7, things like that, I think you'll have a really good shot at forcing some more punts and getting the ball back.
Yeah, and jumping over to the offense, I think, like I said, the D-line is a very, very big problem with the Browns.
3 sacks a game, too. That's
Exactly.
third in
very
the
good.
league, which very good. Very
So what I said is obviously establish the run, get it going, and then you're not going to have time to sit in the pocket. You got to get rid of it. I said quick little slants, screens. I mean, I don't love throwing too many screens a game because I feel like we do it a little too much. But this game might actually help to throw a good amount of screens just because, like I said, defensive line is going to get to you fast. You got to
They're
get
so
rid of the ball,
aggressive,
so.
yeah. Absolutely. All right, you have a prediction?
Yes, I do.
All right.
I got the Pats winning.
Yep.
They're rolling. I got 35-31.
35-31, all right.
Although it might change now that Chubb's out, but I'll just keep it.
Oh, word, okay. I will stick. I'm going Patriots going to win 18-17. I think it's
Okay.
that close.
Little low.
Yeah, and I think it's defense, really, because, I mean, both of these guys, really good defenses. And then I actually even put, this is a game I think could very well go to OT. It's hard to ever predict things like that.
Yeah.
But I think these teams are very, very close and comparable.
I do think they're pretty matched up.
Yeah, and their offensive game plan that we said is super predictable is not really far from what we do either.
Yeah.
I mean, we try to run the ball, keep the time of possession, not
Short
turn it
passes.
over. Yeah.
Get the first.
So it's very similar. Neither of these offenses are like the Chiefs or the
They're
Chargers
not
or the
big
Rams.
plays
Like
or anything like that.
Yeah, these aren't chunk play. I know we just brought up Peoples-Jones, but like, assuming you shut that down, yeah. So yeah, I got a very close game. I think it's gonna be low scoring. A lot of defense.
Now that Chubb's out, I would change it, but I'll leave it for this because
we both think it's gonna be close for sure.
Yeah,
should be a good 60-minute football game. Shouldn't be anything to miss.
Yeah, but the Pats are rolling, man. I could see him very well putting up 30.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they can put up 30 against this, I think it's pretty good defense.
It is a good defense.
Good defense. So if they can drop 30 again, with like they have once or twice this season.
I think they've done it twice now.
They did it against
Jets and maybe once.
Yeah, but either way, if they can cross that 30 threshold,
yeah.
I think there's no way they lose because defensively, especially no Chubb or Kareem Hunt, I don't see him getting over like 24. I really like that would be surprising to me. So if the Patriots can hang 30, 31, something like that, I think they should get the dub. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you put up 30, you're getting a win.
Absolutely. All right.
So
I guess that wraps it up, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in this week. Catch us next week where we will find out where Odell Beckham goes and hopefully break down a great win for the Patriots.
Cleveland Browns.
Against the Browns. All right. Thank you, guys. See you later. Go Pats.
Go Pats.